So I got a new amplifier, and it's the Line 6 Amplifi, and I bought it over a month or two ago. I haven't done a proper review on it. Um, I'm gonna put some me playing through it in a few days when it's nicer out. I'm gonna go outside and record it at higher volumes. The thing I like about it is that it has a lot of amps. It's Bluetooth. You know, you can use it as a speaker. That's pretty cool. Um, One thing I really dig about this particular speaker is that there's a bunch of different models in there. Um, Basically, the Pod X3 models are in there, and it's pretty fun. But it's no tube amp, and I can tell the difference between a modeling amp and a tube amp. And it's I don't know if it's just the speakers or maybe it's the tubes reverberating or something and picking up. I'm trying to think of the proper name for it. Picking up harmonics or something, but you can tell the difference because I have this PV 6505 mini head, and when I play the criminal Mississippi criminal um, model in there, and it sounds like the PV 6505 sounds much heavier and it sounds much more distorted than on the line 6 amp, but it looks pretty good. It's I like the iPad app here. I use a Android phone and it works just great. I used the iPad on it as well. Works just fine. I tried some of these downloading these tones and so forth. Overall, I'm having pretty fun with it, but you know, it made me think. I see the possibilities of digital modeling and the limitations of it, but it makes me really curious about how well does the pod spider or the spider tubed um, amp head will sound like. Is it going to sound more like a tube amp, or is it going to sound like a more modeling amp? I just don't know, and I thought about getting one. And then I thought, nah, maybe not. I might just invest in a Mesa Boogie head, because that's going to be more collectible. It's going to sound better. If I have to resell it, it's gonna resell for higher. But I can pick up a Spider Tube amp for pretty cheap with the pedal board. But the Mesa Boogie is gonna keep its value longer, and it's gonna be more collectible in the future, and it's gonna be more something that's going to be worth more value in the future than the Line 6 stuff. But it just about makes me really curious about modeling and how that's really going to sound if I do go down the modeling route, or just stick with the tube amps. But it raises a lot of good questions for me. Um, but the Mesa Boogie amp that I'm looking at getting a Mesa Boogie Stiletto first, and then maybe a Road King later. Um, Possibly next year. Although I can in a month or two I can pick up a Mesa Boogie Stiletto. Um, it just depends on which road I want to go down with, and I'm doing a lot of research and so forth about what I want to go down and do, and what I want to play and so forth. Um, So hopefully I can make a good decision, but I will be posting some reviews of the Amplifi um, outside and cranked up a little bit. One thing that I don't like is that you can turn the cabinet. You have to turn the cabinets on off, because they're on all the time. So every time you switch to a model, you have to turn it off, and that's kind of sometimes it sounds good, sometimes it doesn't. But it gives that when you put in a cabinet, when you load it up and there's a cabinet attached to it, it gives it that low thumpiness, which sounds okay, but it just, I don't know, kind of throws me off a little bit, I guess. Um, but overall, I think it's a good amp. It's a good practice amp. Good something to drag outside. I don't have to worry about the tubes heating up or whatever. But it just makes me curious about which amp I should ultimately buy. I should go with a Mesa Boogie Stiletto or just a Mesa Boogie, um, or not a Mesa Boogie, but a Line 6 Spider tube, or Line 6 DT50. That's another one I'm considering. But it's only a 50 watt head. It's only a 50 watt head, but um, I just have to wait and see and try to figure out which one I want or kind of want. Um, Both can be bought fairly cheap now because they're discontinued. But that's just my general thoughts about it.